What is good? Welcome to episode 5 of the Henry Hour. I'm Scott D. Henry, and today I am like Jason freaking Derulo. I'm riding solo, baby. I'm riding solo, S-O-L-O. Isn't that Jason Derulo? I think it is. I don't know who I'm asking because I don't have a partner. My brother, Daniel, I call him Daniel. I might be the only one who calls him Daniel, is not feeling great. Yeah, right. Just kidding, bro. So you get me. You get me for this episode 5. And you know what? I'm calling it riding solo because that's what you know what? I'm a lone rider. I'm a lone ranger. I can do this. I can do this all by my lonesome. And you know what? We're gonna plow through this. I wanted to make sure you guys got an episode this week. And I've got some fun things to talk about. So I've got some big news today. Big news. I am now officially the Centerville Old Man's Rec League champion. Played 2 games tonight, guys. We fought hard. We fought so hard. Champions. You know what? Age 41, still winning. Our semifinal game, we won by about 40. Played tough, played really well. And then in the championship game, we won by about maybe 20, 15 or 20. But there was an incident at the end of the game. There was 3 minutes left. And we're at the other team called a timeout. And I'm old, and there was a son of one of the players on my team. He was out shooting during the timeout, and I was like, "Hey, pass me the ball. I'm gonna see if I can dunk because I'm old and I just 41. If I can still dunk, cool." I dunked the ball, and then I got a technical for it. I got a technical, and I had to sit the rest of the game. Because there's a rule in this league, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You can't dunk in games. We play at a junior high. I get it. They don't want us breaking the backboards at this poor junior high. I get it. But anybody who's played basketball knows how to dunk. Or anyone who's dunked, I guess, knows how to dunk and, not break a backboard. And plus, none of us are Shaq. None of us are freaking Shaquille O'Neal or Chocolate Thunder who are going to go up and shatter a backboard or break a rim. We're talking about a bunch of 40-year-old dudes past their prime by many years, and I don't know what they're doing. And it just goes to show whoever made those rules doesn't play basketball or has never dunked in a game, because a dunk in a game is an absolute momentum changer. It can hype up your team. It can it's a huge important part of a game if you can get a dunk in a game, especially our age. It would be huge. Instead, I got a technical. It would have been our ball, but they get 2 free throws in the ball. And I'm fine. It's 3 minutes left. We're down 20. But you know I'm going to complain. There's no way I'm going to be quiet about that. So I start and the refs are cool. I actually went the whole season up until this point without a technical. I was so proud of myself. And I mean, in this league anyways, there's other leagues where I've gotten technicals, but in this league, I did great. I didn't get a technical. I kept my composure all season, and then I get a dumb technical for just proving to myself that I can still dunk. I didn't hang on the rim. I didn't, I barely put it in, 2 foot 1 hand. And so, yeah, I dunked, and then I get the technical, and then I'm talking to the ref. I was like, that's just so dumb. I didn't earn a technical. I felt dumb, and my team was looking at me like, you idiot. I was like, well, it's a dumb technical, and I get that it's a rule, whatever. I thought it was about, you can't dunk in a game, so, the game was on pause. It was on timeout, so I didn't think whatever. But then there was a lady at the scorer's table that just wanted to prove her point to me. And was like, you just be quiet. You just be quiet. Like, it's a rule. I don't understand why, like, you have to keep going. It's a rule. And I was like, I get it's a rule. It's just a really dumb one. And then she said something. She said, well, we're just trying to protect the nets so that the nets don't get broken. And I said, the nets or the rims? Because there's a big difference. If we're trying to protect the nets, then we need to, like, a technical should be, like, awarded for 3-point shots, not dunks. You know, and I'm a smart aleck. But, you know, I was mad. I got a technical. And she was frustrated because I wouldn't shut my mouth because it's a rule. And I should have just followed it. But anyways, we won the championship. Even without me the last 3 minutes of the game. So that's now I have 2 big games coming up on Thursday for another league, and this we're gonna face a team that's even tougher. And I've already got a technical in this league once. I'm just so if that's something, if you don't know this about me, and you should, because of because of this belt right here, the Tough as Nails championship belt that I won on Tough as Nails season 2. I'm uber competitive, like almost to a fault. Like I talk about it all the time, but people still get surprised when they hear like how competitive I can be. If you've ever played basketball against me, I'm sorry, I take that back. If you've ever played anything against me, if you've ever played chess against me or phase 10 or basketball or even sports I know I'm bad at, I will still go into it like super confident like I'm going to win. And it's good because it, like, my competitiveness paid for college, like I played college basketball, but like now that I'm like not so good at things, it's bad cuz I just end up looking like a big jerk most of the time. I'm working on it, but I don't know. I think I'll always be uber competitive. But so yeah, Thursday coming up, big games. Wish me luck. It's gonna take a team effort. It's gonna take some good shooting. You know, it's gonna take everything that we've got, but we're gonna pull it out. I love it. 41 years old, and that I wanted to talk about this. Every game I see someone get injured. Like in this game, the game before our championship game, someone went down with an injured knee. Daniel blew his patellar tendon in this league. 4 or 5 years ago, I blew my Achilles, and like my right calf still gets super sensitive while I play. And like almost every game, I'm like, man, is it worth it? Like, when is the next big one going to happen? But I love the game, man. I love the game so much. It's so fun. It's so fun. And it's, if I can play 2 games in a night, it's good exercise for me. I mean, I get a good sweat. I feel like I can still play the game a little bit. So I think I'll keep going. But I've noticed I'm smarter about things though. Like I'm very aware of like where I put my feet and when I make a big jump for a rebound, or like very aware of that stuff. And I know Dan, we actually played in the championship game. We played against the team that Dan, my brother, was supposed to play with. He was on this team because he was supposed to be on my team because he's played with me the last several years. And this season he came, like, I was like, okay, bro, this season's starting up. Like, we got games. And he was like, oh, bro, I joined another team. He just randomly joined another team. And so we smashed his team when we played against him the first time. Right, Dan? He's going to hate listening to this so bad. He's going to hate it. But he was supposed to be playing with this team that we played against tonight. And I know I would put thousands of dollars on it that his first response would be like, if I would have been like, bro, we smashed your team, I could actually text him right now. And his response, if he's not asleep, he's probably asleep. His response, word for word, would be, bro, you know, if I was there, we would have smashed you. Like, I know for a fact that's his response, because that's my response. That's what I would have said. Bro, if I was healthy, we would have smashed you, man. I could put money on it. I just know him. I know him because that's what I would say. But yeah, injuries and stuff. We're just old. We're getting old, but basketball's so fun. It's so fun. I'll never stop. So anyways, that was my night tonight. Oh, and last week, this episode is basically going to be telling you about my life. And then I do want to go into a little bit about, so when we first started up this podcast, we went on live, Dan and I, and we asked for topics. And there were two of them tonight that I wanted to hit on while Dan's not here. And I can talk about whatever I want. I'm going to talk about my relationship with my wife. And there was another, where is it? Oh, things that I would have done differently in my life. I like those. I like those two topics. All right, last week, I was in Las Vegas on Thursday. I was invited by Sarah Hester Ross, who is an amazing, she's just hilarious. I think she's got like 2 million followers on TikTok. She sings, and I've talked about her in a previous episode where she does her song, Stop Giving Men Microphones. And so she invited me to come to her show in Vegas called Viral Live. And so I showed up Thursday, and I was on the show Thursday night, and I get terrified to do a live performance. I just do. Behind a camera, I feel comfortable. There's no one watching me. I can say what I want. No judgment until after the fact, until after I post things. Then the judgment comes. But in the moment, when I'm just by myself, I feel very comfortable. In front of a live audience, I still get kind of sick to my stomach. I almost didn't go. In fact, she invited me to go months ago. And I was like, yeah, sounds fun. And then I never... I didn't respond to another text. I just went radio silent until last Thursday. And last Thursday morning, I was like, hey, Sarah, do you still want me to come? She was like, the show's today, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm looking for flights. Should I come? So unprofessional. But she was amazingly professional and was just like, yeah, come on out. I'll go with the flow. And her show is awesome. She's so talented. And I said a little bit of this on the show. And also, if you want to see it, the live stream is available for another couple weeks. Go to her social media, which is Sarah Hester Ross. You can find her on Instagram or TikTok. And then you can find the live stream to download it or to watch it, whatever. But I said, as I'm walking to the show, so I stayed in a hotel in Vegas, which was near the venue. And as I'm walking along, going to the venue, there's street performers everywhere. And in my mind, I doubt myself so much that every street performer out there, I was like, oh, that person's more talented than me. That person would be really good on this show. What am I doing going to be on this show? And it was just that's my whole mindset. I don't give myself any credit. Those are my doubts coming up. And that's from years of going through traumatic things like that, where I just absolutely doubt myself because I always feel the next good thing is going to be pulled out from underneath me. But the show went really well. I just had a really small little snippet in her show. I did a little bit of lip syncing. And yeah, I just talked about who I am and what I do. And so, yeah, it was good. Really fun. And I want to try to do some of that stuff a little bit more, but be a little bit more professional about it, maybe. That would be good. But anyways, that was my last week. Yeah. And so we're going to talk about a little bit about my relationship with my sweet wife, Holly D. Henry. My everything, my best friend. And to get to that, I think I need to talk a little bit about my past. Fun for y'all. Everyone here listening, you might know a little bit about me, maybe not, I don't know. Grew up in Utah, huge family, 7 sisters, 3 brothers. We've talked about that a lot. And then I went and, played college basketball, got married kind of young. Uh, 4 years later was divorced. That was traumatic. And then got remarried. 8 years later, another divorce. And then after divorce number 2, just growing up in Utah, divorce is very, very, very frowned upon in this culture here. And I felt like a huge failure, I felt like a really big failure, especially after the second one. I had sworn off relationships, totally sworn them off. Did not want a thing to do with another relationship. And in fact, it got to the point where I actually kind of wanted to check out. I ended up moving in with my oldest sister, Stacy, who, like, through my divorces, I have siblings who rallied around me. And if I didn't have my family and my friends who rallied around me and kind of like picked me up in a time when I was really low, I don't know if I would have made it through. But I moved in with Stacy. Was absolutely amazing with me and my daughters. Made sure that they always felt comfortable there. I always felt like it was just absolutely amazing and life-saving, period. But I remember, and like me and Stacy still talk about it, I remember like telling her like I wanted to move to Mexico. I just wanted out. I didn't want to be around anymore. I didn't feel like I had anything to offer anybody. I didn't feel like I had I felt like a failure in like all aspects of my life. Bad dad, bad father, bad son, bad brother, bad everything. And I just wanted to bounce. I did. I was gonna give up. But I stuck around because I'm a stubborn fighter. That's just who I am. I'm not gonna let myself give up on something. I'm not gonna let myself fail without a fight. Went to counseling, went to a lot of therapy, talked to a lot of people, found out how to like myself again, after hating yourself for so long. Like it was hard to find things that I liked about myself, but I ended up, gaining some confidence in who I was and started like listening to myself rather than like what I thought others thought about me. Does that make any sense? And then I have a really good friend, Lad. His wife Megan was seeing Holly, I think to get Botox. I don't know, but she mentioned to Holly. Holly had gone through a divorce as well. She mentioned to Holly, "Hey, I know this guy. He's I want to set you up with him." Talking about me, and her words to Holly were, "I don't know if he's hip enough for you, but he's tall." And then I think she's like showed her my Instagram and stuff. And at first Holly was like, "No, not ready. Don't want to date him. Whatever. No. A couple months passed by. I actually don't know how long passed by because like had no idea that like Megan even like showed pictures of me or whatever. But some time went by, and then Holly was like, "You know what? I think I'm ready. Set me up on a date with him." And so we got each other's numbers. I asked her out on a date, and then I asked her to the Cheesecake Factory here in Salt Lake City. Delicious place. Cheesecake Factory is so good. Anyways, and the day of the date comes, and I don't want to go. I'm just like, no, I don't want to go. She's out of my league. She's got like this amazing career. I am twice divorced, living at my sister's house, struggling with confidence. Like, I have 3 daughters with 2 exes. And I had like, honestly, in my head, I was like, I have nothing to offer. Like, why even go waste my time and go on a date if I have absolutely zero to offer? That was my thought. And I remember telling my sister Stacy, I was like, I'm just not going to go. I think I'm going to call it off. And she was like, just go. Just go. What's the worst that can happen? Go on a date. Just have some fun. Like, just go. Ended up going on the date. And, it was so funny. The first date was amazing. Holly's a chatterbox when she gets nervous, and I kind of get quiet. I get quiet. So I am stuffing my face with food, and Holly's just chatterboxing it, which was good. It worked because I get quiet, she talks. I listened, and I wasn't like a mute. Like I talked, but I just like I get nervous, and she did most of the talking on the first date. It was amazing. And we kind of joked around, and she said something like, I don't know what it was. Like she's mentioned something about being my girlfriend. I was like, you're my, like, what do you mean boyfriend, girlfriend? We haven't even touched. And then I remember her reaching like across the table, and she like grabbed my hand. She was like, oh, well, here, now we've touched. And I'll always remember how she just reached across, and I love her little hands. She's got tiny little hands, and she like reached across, and I can remember her like little hand on my big hand. And I was like, oh, and that's a moment I'll always remember. But from there, it was just so different with Holly. It was so different with Holly. So fun and so different. It's hard to explain, but you know, when you think that you know what love is, and then you finally meet the love of your life, and it's like, oh, so I had no idea what love actually was until I met this person. So, you know, we start dating, and it's just so good. It's so fun. And 4 months into dating, she's like, you know what I've missed in my life is travel. And I was like, same. I love to travel. And so 4 months into dating, we decided to take a trip to Thailand. And we hadn't spent like a big chunk of time together because she had her career, her kids. I had my career, my kids. I was always traveling for work, for construction. And so like we hadn't spent like a big chunk of time together. So this was a full 10, 11 days in Thailand. And it was like, oh boy, this could really tell a lot about our relationship. Like, are we going to make it? Like, who knows? Who knows with this amount of time? So we went to Thailand. Like the most beautiful place in the world. If I could go back right now, I'd get back there right now. I would take the exact same trip again. Beautiful. Highly recommend it. But when the trip was over, I remember coming home, and I was like, okay, well, I've got to go get my daughters. And like we had to go our separate ways again. And we were both like, oh no, like, no, this is dumb. Like, and we both felt like, and that was a good feeling because after 10, 11 days straight together, 24/7, we still wanted to be with each other. We still enjoyed each other's company. We still craved each other. And that was so fun and so telling. And traveling is our thing. We've been to a lot of different places. We've been to Thailand, the Philippines, London, Paris, Amsterdam. That's where we got married. And then we've been to Scotland and Ireland and Hawaii and Mexico several times, and like it's our thing. And we have more trips coming up that we've planned, and we just love it. So, like I said, we got married in Amsterdam. But before we got married in Amsterdam, we do this thing where I have this journal. I have this journal. We have this journal that we write back and forth to each other in it, and it's just kind of like whenever we feel like we want to tell our partner something, when I want to tell Holly something, or like we just write back and forth. And in that journal, there's a little bubble, there's a circle that we drew, and it's our family bubble. And I think our whole relationship is all about this bubble. Inside of our bubble, we drew a circle, and we said, okay, what's important to you and me? What are we going to put inside this bubble? And it was obviously me and Holly, our kids, and our careers. And that's it. That's what's in our bubble. And anything that wants to penetrate and kind of interrupt that bubble or try to pop that bubble from the outside, we just keep it on the outside, and we worry about what's inside of our bubble. And that's when we both realize that we're going to focus on each other, that she's my best friend, I'm her best friend. And I wrote this down. I wrote some notes down before I started this. Going into a relationship, another relationship, another marriage, I needed to feel like somebody had my back. That's what I had missed for every relationship up to Holly. I felt like at any moment, someone was going to give up on me. And that I didn't have someone who had my back. I didn't have that just someone who was going to be there through everything. I didn't have it. And I know with Holly, she has my back. And if you guys have ever seen like on my TikToks or whatever, she's got my back. if there's a hater or a hate comment or anything like that, Holly is all over it before I even have to do anything. And people are always like, "Oh, your wife fights your battles for you." I'm like, "Yeah, she does." And I want her to. Like, do you not want your partner to like step up for you? Because like I'll never understand that comment like, "Oh, your wife fights your battles for you." I don't need her to. But I'll never stop her. And I'm the same with her. I'll fight for that woman, and she'll fight for me. I don't understand that. Oh, I don't get it. You're woman. Oh, you let your woman fight your battle. You're like, dude. Yeah, my wife will fight for me, and I've needed that, and I was looking for that. That's what I had to have that in this relationship. And when you're dating, and you've gone through something traumatic. And Holly and I both had gone through very traumatic things. You test each other, because we were both wondering, like, okay, at what point are we going to get to where the other is just going to be like, you know what, I'm not doing this, I'm out. And we both had that feeling like, all right, at what point is this person going to give up on me? Like, at what point are they going to walk out now? We both felt that way. And testing each other, we went through, like, it was hard at first because we were both severely hurt. We both kind of like had our walls up around our hearts. We kind of were like, it was self-preservation mode. We didn't fully open up. And I had some jealousy tendencies. I did. And that came from past relationships. It was ugly. I didn't like it about myself, but it's hard. It's hard work, but in the end, it was so worth it. And that's why I wanted to talk about a little bit about what would I have done differently in my past. And knowing where I am right now, talking on this podcast and being with my best friend and having the most amazing kids, and having gone through like these last 2 years on social media and winning tough as nails on a TV show and marrying my best friend and hitting the jackpot of women, I wouldn't change one damn thing. I wouldn't change a thing. And I just sat here and talked about how hard and how difficult those things were to go through. And that's okay. That's okay if you go through something hard and difficult and you feel like you're going to give up and you feel like the whole world is coming down on you and you don't know what to do and you just don't want to be around. That's like, those are normal feelings, but don't give into those. Fight, because you never know when you're going to hit that jackpot. You never know. I was at the brink of giving up, and I didn't know Holly was out there. I had no idea. Had I not gone on that date with Holly, who knows where I would be? I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be the person I am today. So don't give up. That's my big thing. So what would I have done differently? Not one thing. Not one thing. And there's a lot of things that go in, like, that come up in my mind. I was actually talking about a couple of my teammates tonight. Like, we both played in college. We played in high school against each other, and we played in college against each other. And we were both talking like, man, did you ever play overseas ball professionally? And he was like, no, I had some offers. And I was like, yeah, I had some offers too. I did at one point go and play against some Australian and New Zealand teams, and that was way fun, professional teams. And I had offers to go and play professionally in Brisbane, Australia. And it didn't happen. And, you have regrets of like things that like, man, I regret not doing that, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't sacrifice what I have now to go back and change something from my past. I wouldn't do that. I would go through it all again exactly the same way to get to where I am now, to be with who I am with now. Oh, hello you. So yeah, there it is. All right, changing directions a little bit. I'm going to do a TikTok shout out. This is my own little personal TikTok shout out. Yeah.
TikTok shout out.
Today, I have chosen someone who I've been friends with on this app for a long time. I think that's like a recurring thing. We choose people that we've been friends with on the TikTok app for a long time. This TikTok shout out goes to Joel D86. My guy Joel from Michigan. And even though Joel is a Detroit Lions fan, sorry, dude. I love Michigan. Love me some Michigan. I'm a huge Wolverine fan. Detroit, the Lions, though. Come on, man. Joel, thank you for always just for everything. You're always commenting. You're always just uplifting and awesome. And you've written a few messages about this podcast saying that you listen to it on your way home from work. So, shout out, Joel. Thank you so much for everything. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out, Joel, my man. All right, everybody. That is my little baby episode 5. Kind of short one today. But I think I talked about some things that are important to me, and I hope you were able to relate to some of the stuff. And before I leave you, my wife, she sent me this awesome saying, this really cool little phrase. She sent it to me just a few days ago. And she sent it to me because we both feel the exact same way. And it says, "Listen, I love you. I know at times I can be a disappointment, that I have made my share of mistakes in the past. But you must know that in a lifetime of missteps and spectacular messes, you are the very first thing that's felt right." Yeah, it's exactly how I feel too, babe. Anyways, thanks for joining Scott's little Ridin solo episode. Hopefully Dan feels a little bit better and that he will rejoin me this next week. Thank y'all so much. Hope you guys have a great week. Peace.